Okay, so today is 1/23/15, and we're going to talk about the fourth kind of naming convention. Well, not really. The other one have all been ionic naming conventions, just with three different kinds of substances. Now we're going to talk about what happens when we want to name a molecular compound. So these are things that they're held together by shared electrons. They're covalently bonded. And there are actually two naming systems for these things. Oh boy. The older system is the prefix system, and that's the one that we're going to focus on. And I need to email a chemist. The newer system is the stock system. That's the system that you were using for the D block, where you're identifying the charge, in essence, on the positive ion in that case. In the stock system, you're identifying the oxidation number on the thing that is giving up electrons. We haven't learned oxidation numbers yet. We will do that before we talk about the stock system for molecular compounds. What I'm going to say is that in my experience in college chemistry, and I had a minor in college chemistry, so I had 2 full years of college chem, the people who I was encountering were all still using the prefix system. Now, I had a couple instructors who, like I had one guy who had been teaching Gen Chem for 30 years. He was fantastic. Now, he got his PhD in the 60s. If there's an older system, he was going to be using it. But for organic, I had a guy who was fresh out of PhD. I mean, he had a brand new, paper wasn't dry on his PhD, and he was still using prefix system to identify things. So we'll get you really good at prefix system, and we'll get you some familiarity with the stock system. My hunch is that when you go out into chemistry, you're going to hear more of the prefix system, but you'll be familiar with the other. So you know, it's not like you'll be bilingual, but one will not come as a complete shock to you. Oh my gosh, I've never heard that before. You'll have some familiarity. You'll be able to get into the swing of it if that's something that you need to do. Okay, the older system, prefix system. This compound, CCl4, is carbon tetrachloride. And you just are memorizing prefixes up through 10 and applying them, and the name tells you exactly how many atoms of everything there is. It's pretty easy. So with the prefix system, the less electronegative thing comes first. What this means, in essence, is the thing that would have formed a positive ion, the thing that is more willing to give up its electrons, is going to be named first. And for the first thing, it doesn't get a prefix unless there's more than one of it. Okay? So if we go back to the example of carbon tetrachloride, it's not monocarbon tetrachloride. The fact that we're saying carbon means there is one carbon. We don't need to tell you there's one. If there were 2 carbons, we'd need to tell you about it, but we don't. The second element just gets the prefix that references, and this table you don't need to reproduce. It's in your book, I think in a couple locations. If the second element gets the prefix, and it gets an IDE ending, which makes it sound an awful lot like an anion, which everybody hates, but that's the way it works. So the thing that in essence is getting more of the electrons, the thing that if this were an ionic bond would be the negative ion, gets that IDE ending. So this is one, now you built phosphorus pentachloride. You know, here's phosphorus pentabromide. 5. You know, so mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta, octa, nona, deca. If you know, mono, di, and tri are easy. Penta and hexa are easy. For tetra, if you've played Tetris, there are 4 ways to put every piece down. Hepta, I think it's from the Greek. Octa, octagons. Nona, 9 and nona. And, of course, deca, decades, all that stuff. You got that one. So, really, for this, you're just memorizing. We'll practice a few of these. So, first of all, let's go from I give you the name you give me the formula. So if I have, wow, I can't spell, dinitrogen trioxide. This tells me that there are 2 nitrogens, so this is N2, and there are 3 oxygens. This is N2O3. I mean, this literally just tells you what's there. Super easy. What if I give you beryllium trichloride? BE. Yep. It's the thing that lends emeralds their pretty green color. Yeah? And you built that one. You built that one. You built beryllium trichloride. Okay. Sulfur hexafluoride. Okay, level of confidence, 0 to 5 on these. Yeah, 10. These are pretty easy, going from the name to the chemical. So let's do some naming, and that's also pretty easy. It's only challenging when we mix it up. Okay, so if I give you SiO2, common component of Earth's crust, actually, found in many, many rocks. Compare notes with your neighbor when you've got it. You got silicon dioxide? Okay. Yeah. Silicon dioxide. Okay. Write it. Don't be afraid to use your periodic table. I mean, it doesn't help you, because you're not looking at charges or anything, but... Okay, these are fairly straightforward, yes? Okay. So this is, of course, sulfur dioxide. I'll give you one more. As2O4. As is arsenic. Arsenic and old lace. Okay, diarsenic tetraoxide. Good. You have these. These are easy. You're going to have a FIP quiz on just these on, well, I'll tell you, I will give you 2 options. I think these are spectacularly easy. I can give you a FIP quiz on just these if you want practice with just these. I could have it up by the end of the day. Yeah, I could have it up by the end of the day and say that it's due by Monday. You have to have taken it by Monday. Let's do that. Okay, so here's the deal. FIP on molecular naming, due by Monday. Let me give myself a little bit of slack because I know that the rest of the day has gotten a few complications added to it. Let's say it will be up by tomorrow morning. Okay? I don't know that I'll get it up by the end of the school day. Due by Monday. When you come in, the other thing I'm going to do is right now I have to develop it from scratch because somehow the one I had went away. I'm going to give you a mixed naming practice worksheet. So all 4 types of naming that we've done, all scrambled together, any order, any everything. And then when you come in on Monday, I'll give you your mixed naming FIP quiz. So this is due before Monday. When you come in on Monday, you will have a FIP quiz over mixed naming. Okay? That's it. Practice on these if you would like it. Page 2, I want to say 213, without looking. Okay, so practice for these is on 213, and I will add a few things to the chapter review as well.